Here's the actual JoLo Show, Episode 9. We're introducing the secret word this week, and the word is Frankenstein. You'll see why coming up next.
So Vince, guess what?
What?
Last week, I made a huge mistake, and I accidentally said that it was the 9th episode of the JoLo Show. Now, not only did I make that mistake, but if you watch the JoLo Show, I learned that Paul Harvey was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But, get this, he lived in St. Louis, and he married a lady from St. Louis. Ha ha ha, and he worked at the St. Louis radio station. But anyways, my point is this. I said it was episode 9, the whole episode. That was episode 8. This is the JoLo Show with Vince Russo, episode 9.
Episode 9.
It has officially begun.
All right.
All right. So
you're allowed to pass.
It's thank you very much. So not only was I right about Paul Harvey living in St. Louis, I did say he was from there originally, but he did live there at the very least.
JR would have been all over that. JR would have known he was from Oklahoma, bro.
Yeah, true. I did a lot of reading about Paul Harvey actually after last week as I was doing research on the show. He did some wacky stuff during his life, no idea about.
Yeah.
It's interesting reading. Everybody go Google Paul Harvey. But welcome to the JoLo Show, episode 9. Brand members and everybody else. It's great to see you all. It is the Go Home JoLo Show before WrestleMania. I've got my Daniel Bryan shirt on because it was my only clean one. And I can't help it, Vince. I can't help but talk about Mania just a little bit. You know?
Explain to me the Daniel Bryan No shirt. Is that an official shirt?
Yeah. Okay. So he had the Yes, Yes, Yes shirt. And then right after he started just turning on the audience and turning on and the audience was doing their like satirical Yes, Yes. And he was coming out with No. He made a shirt that looked like this. And then they made it an official shirt. I got this when I went to see SmackDown right after moving to Boston. And, when I saw the option to get the No version, had to get it.
So that might be a little bit of a collector's item right now.
It's possible. I'm not sure if they're still selling the No shirt, which would be really great. I have a bunch of CM Punk t-shirts that are collector's items now too. But the No shirt, to me, it was the storyline informing the merchandise in just the right way, and it was Daniel Bryan at a time that I was liking him more and more as he was going down the road that eventually took him to tag with Kane and become long reigning tag team champs. So
see, I didn't see it, bro. Honestly, I didn't see any of that, bro. People don't know. I wasn't kidding, bro. Literally, from the time I left the WWE in October of 1999. I did not watch the WWE, bro, until I started Pyro and Ballyhoo.
Fair enough. I mean,
so literally, and that was last. That was July, bro.
I know. It's
so from 1999 to July of 2014, I never watched WWE.
I came back into watching it at Raw 1000, and I've watched it more or less weekly since. So I can tell you that. I watched only a little bit of it during the 2000s period, and that was it. That was the only wrestling that I watched. Was a couple of years, like a year or two of WWE in 2005 and 4. And so getting back into it, I had only a couple of heroes at that time. My main hero was CM Punk, but Daniel Bryan started to strike me as an up-and-comer, and so this was my little tribute to him. Now, this weekend, we've all read your article where you described how you would book those 3 matches. I found myself agreeing with just about all of it. The possibilities for Bray Wyatt, you got to have Taker win. Having him lose twice would look so silly. It would look absolutely silly. Like, why are you even doing this? Why are you wasting the money? So, nail on the head on that one. You didn't talk about the ladder match at all. I noticed you dodged that bullet.
I didn't, bro. You know, I'd be honest with you, bro. I didn't dodge any bullet. I don't care.
You know, I thought you were going to say that.
I wrote about the 3 matches that I care about.
Okay.
I'm interested in the outcome of those matches. Bro, there isn't a single thing on the rest of that card that I care about. No, I'll be honest with you.
No, I thought you were going to say that. And it's going to be interesting to see how they pad out a 4-hour show.
Tell me, there's 7 guys in the ladder match, right?
Yeah.
Tell me who they are, and maybe I'll quickly give you a prediction here.
All right.
I know Ziggler. I know Ambrose. I know Ziggler, Ambrose, Bryan is in there.
Okay, final card. I don't know the full list, so I'm pulling it up here. I got a website. Where is it at?
I think Harp is in there. I think Bad News Barrett's in there. That's 5.
That's 5. Oh, here we go. Let's see. The 7-man ladder match is Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, Stardust, Bad News Barrett, Dean Ambrose, and Luke Harper.
Say that one more time.
Ziggler, R-Truth, Stardust, Bad News Barrett, Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, and there's somebody else.
Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan.
It says he's been dropped from the ladder match, and Randy Orton. No. It says he's been dropped from the ladder match. He's been dropped into a ladder match. Forget it. I didn't even read the whole sentence.
So he's the 7th guy.
Yeah. Okay. For the Intercontinental Championship, where's that gonna go? We've got Ambrose was the person who set up this crazy hot potato.
And we're going to get into wrestling again.
All right, well, we might as well get it out of the way early before we get to the questions.
Bro, they have killed Dean Ambrose.
Absolutely.
Absolutely killed him, bro. What happened is early on, they gave him those weak things with the Nickelodeon case. The next week, he had the hot dog cart. He was squirting those guys with the ketchup and the mustard. And I was saying, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. At some point, creative realized this is silly. They totally backed off of him at that point. Then, bro, they put him in a feud with Bray Wyatt that there was never an end of.
Vanished.
There was never an end to that, bro. There was never an end to that feud.
It vanished into thin air.
It never ended. They have totally killed that guy. So with that being said, bro, I think if you do the process of elimination, they've killed Dolph Ziggler. He doesn't mean anything anymore. If he wins the IC title for a 6th time, it ain't going to matter. R-Truth is never going to win. Stardust is never going to win. That's 3 down. Luke Harper had it once. He's never going to get it again. That's 4 down. So that leaves Ambrose, Bryan, and
Bad News Barrett.
Bad News Barrett. Barrett ain't going to get it again.
Because he's got it.
They got to give it to Daniel Bryan. They have to.
Okay.
He's the only one in that match that means anything. They'll want you to think Ambrose means something. Ambrose means nothing right now. They've killed the guy.
Yeah, I can sense, I can see when they took the foot right off the pedal of Dean Ambrose, and that was really unfortunate, his fall.
Bro, you know what? There was they put out a little seed early on with Ambrose and Bryan and Bray. If you remember, bro, remember when Bray started bringing up Dean Ambrose's upbringing and his father? That was the angle, bro. And like
they walked right past it. They walked right by it.
The first thing I said in my mind was, they're brothers. They had the same father. That was the first thing I said in my mind. And then, bro, they mentioned that 2 weeks and
they do the one jail promo with the cup against the bars, and that's the end of it. It's completely gone.
The hologram in the ring meant nothing.
You couldn't tell who it was.
Then they had a match back and forth every week. Who was going to go through the most tables? That never ended. They've killed that guy, bro.
I think there's room for him to do something, hopefully, and he's sticking it out. So let's just,
bro. Let me
not right now, though. Not right now.
Not his fault.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not his fault.
No, I don't put this on his shoulders at all. He's working with what he's got, and what he's got is rotten, and that's the unfortunate part. I think that your like Sherlock Holmes process of elimination is good. Like I think that's the best way to look at this particular ladder match, and Daniel Bryan is going to probably walk out with the win. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, WrestleMania, it's going to be an interesting show. So that's that. That's the first part of the JoLo show. We breathe out. Now that we've gotten that taken care of, folks, everybody.
Can I show you my collectible I bought today at Goodwill for $5 that I'm very proud of?
Let's see it. This is the new section of the JoLo show. We call this Show and Tell.
5 large.
5 large, he says.
JoLo, look at that beauty.
Mork and Mindy lunchbox.
Lunchbox, bro. Let me tell you this. $5 at Goodwill because, bro, Robin Williams. I mean, come on, bro. Does he get better than Robin Williams?
It doesn't. And Mork let him be every character he could conceivably be.
Bro, JoLo, I think you'll agree with me with this. I have a big issue. People throw the word genius around. Robin Williams was a freaking genius.
It can't be disputed.
Can't be disputed. Bro, watch any Robin Williams stand-up off the top of his freaking head. Watch Robin Williams on any talk show.
Yeah, oh yeah,
all
definitely.
Off the top of his head, bro. But anyway, I saw this 5 large. I went to eBay, bro. As soon as I got it, 75 large on eBay.
Well, Vince, I think you found yourself a new show. Here's what you do. Give the camera to the diva and have her drive you to Goodwill. You do Goodwill picking, and then you take it to eBay and you show what it's worth on eBay.
Bro, bro, listen.
It'd be hilarious.
Bro, I've never in my life been about money and like the new car and the big house. Never been that way, bro. Bro, I don't know if by you, bro. You have Goodwills. Are they,
yeah, totally.
Is there a store called the Ark?
No.
Okay, well here, bro, it's Ark and Goodwill. Okay. And that's what I do every day, bro. I go in these stores, I look for the treasures, bro.
The hidden treasures. That's what I do with
treasures.
That's what I used to do at GameStop, basically. I would go look for the games that I knew were worth something on eBay that someone had just sold back and they were selling for a pittance, and I knew costs like this is a $90 game opened on eBay. And this is selling for $20.
JoLo, you know what I've always said, seriously, and this is an absolute shoot, and I wish I was that guy. Bro, I love going to antique shops, thrift shops. I love that because I gotta find like the one thing. Bro, if you literally though, like for a living, you went in these stores and you knew what was worth what, bro, you could make a living doing that.
Vince, I think that you found your the final chapter of the Vince Russo book. You just cast it all aside and you become Colorado's greatest antiques picker.
Bro, you could make a good living doing that if you knew what you were looking for.
People do, and that's
it's tremendous. I love that stuff.
Not bad, man. Well, good find. I haven't gotten any collectibles lately, but I did get my guitar out of the closet for the first time this week, and I'm starting to learn how to play it. So that's the closest I've gotten to a little show and tell.
And another thing too, JoLo, because I want you to know this, that you do have an effect on me.
Oh.
I've been looking for this Killing Joke used because, bro, it's $18 new. I can't pay $18 for it.
It's not a bad book, dude. It's pretty thick.
I've been looking for this used. I can't find this used anywhere, bro.
That's because people don't sell it back because it's so good.
I want to read it now. You got my interest peaked. Jeff
has a first edition printing of it. He should put a picture. He put a picture of it up on Twitter as soon as we were done talking about it.
I want to read that now. You got my interest with the Barbara Gordon gimmick.
Oh man, it's a dark book. It's really good though. Alan Moore is an excellent writer of comics, and he's just does a great job with it. So now that we've gotten the early part of the JoLo show out of the way, let's take some of our listener questions and let's go ahead and dive in and see what people were talking about this week so that we can talk a little more. So all of our questions came from Facebook this week. Thank you everybody who posted on the thread, and be sure to listen and post next week even more questions, reactions to this week. We can only make this show with your help, so thanks again everybody for your support. Let's dive right in. First question is from Timothy Fisher. Are you still involved with Christianity, and how has it affected your everyday life?
Oh yeah, of course, bro. Every day, bro.
Yeah, this answer is pretty evident if you know Vince Russo at all.
Bro, I say this all the time, and I'll continue to say it, and I say it all the time. Trying to live your life as a Christian, bro, is the hardest thing you can possibly do, because what it means is everything you do is going against the grain. In other words, bro, we're human and we're sinners. And we're wired to sin. We're wired to do that. I'm not going to go long, bro, but Adam was the first man. We all know Adam sinned with the apple.
The original sin.
since he was the first man, we're all descendants of Adam. So being descendants of Adam, we all have the sin gene. So it's in us. We're wired to sin. We're wired to be bad people. Well, when you become a Christian, you're consciously aware of that. So you're constantly trying to live your life not to do that, which is going against the grain. And a lot of times what that means is, bro, you can't act the way you would normally act. You just can't. And it's a challenge every single day, bro. I catch myself getting hot at people on Twitter. I catch myself, watching the ending of Raw and saying Vince McMahon needs to put his loafers in the middle of the ring and retire. That's the Vince Russo. But it's like, then I sit back and I look at these things and I'm like, okay, we need to get back to the drawing board. So no, absolutely, bro. It shapes my life. It's a work in progress every single day.
Well, good. Glad to hear it, man. I'm glad it's definitely working for you. And thank you for the question, too. So next up, question from Gucci Runway Thornberry. I don't know if that's a real name. That's got to be, if that's your real name, Gucci Runway Thornberry.
I like that.
I kind of do, too. It's kind of a lot of different directions. Wow. Well, what is your favorite Starbucks drink? Do you go to Starbucks at all, Vince?
Bro, listen, I'm cheap. I'm frugal. Okay. So when I go to Starbucks, bro,
let's say I'm buying.
Oh, well, bro, forget it. If you're buying, forget about it. But when I'm buying, bro, because I want to go, I'm addicted to coffee. I want to get the cheapest thing I can. So I usually get a tall blonde, which is the smoothest. Yeah. Bro, because I don't want to spend a lot of money. That's what I.
All right. Fair enough. It's all blonde. If I was at Starbucks. I always jump around at Starbucks. I always get different stuff. I always end up getting stuff that I think is too sweet, though, and then I don't want to finish it. So
now, JoLo, let me ask you this: you can go into a Starbucks and spend $4 or $5 on a drink and not have an issue?
Oh, I don't. No, goodness, no. I buy a 12-pack of Arizona green tea and I put them in the fridge at work, and I just go get them when I want one. Okay. And that's so. I am not a coffee run kind of guy. I'm not a Starbucks to like need the coffee kind of dude.
Bro, I see these people going Starbucks $4 or $5, and I'm like, are you freaking nuts, bro? You know what? This is how I am. I don't mind spending money on something that like here, bro, like this.
Like
this ain't going anywhere.
That's true.
I have this now, but bro, you drink a $5 cup of coffee and it's gone in 5 minutes. You just drank $5.
That's true. So the experience definitely has to be worth the amount of money paid, and the experience of a cup of coffee, unless it's the best coffee in the entire world, is usually worth about $1.50, maybe $2.
Can I have this other conversation with you, JoLo? Because I look at you borderline genius.
Borderline.
Because you're too young. You're too young to be genius yet, bro.
All right.
The age and the wisdom has to come. Then you could be the genius. So I put you like right there.
Okay, all righty.
Can I throw a scenario at you?
Bring it down. Let's see what happens.
I'm a coffee fanatic.
Okay.
And bro, a lot of times why I drink a lot of coffee is because like when I get hungry, I'd rather drink coffee than eat.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
The caffeine thing, bro, and coffee keeping you awake, bro, I think that's a total myth. I don't think that is true whatsoever. Bro, I can have caffeine, a cup of coffee, 11 o'clock at night, and be asleep by 11:30.
I hear you, Vince, and I am going to...
What do you think about that?
I am going to tell you exactly what I think.
Look at this. See, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Look.
I think that people's bodies are built in different ways. So I think that just like there is a person who could drink someone under the table, there's a person who can only have one drink before they're tipsy. Just like there's a person who has a single cup of coffee and they're bouncing off the walls, there's Vince Russo's of the world. And JoLo's, who can have several cups of coffee in succession and not feel like they're about to go run a marathon.
Late at night and fall asleep, right?
I will have a I'll have a cup of black coffee right before I hit the sack, and I'll sleep like a baby.
Okay.
Like it doesn't really affect me in that way. It just doesn't. So,
okay, good. So I'm not alone.
No. The way I see it, dude, is that perception of coffee making you crazy is a popular culture thing.
Thank you.
It's driven by media, by jokes, and it's driven by sitcoms, and it's funny in the same in the same way that making generalizations about anything can be funny. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you agree with me, bro, because I thought I was in the minority. Thank you.
No.
Thank you very much.
No, science tells us that everybody's brain is a little bit different, and no two of us are exactly the same, even though we are all, just condensed sunlight. We have differences, and those differences can be a tolerance for caffeine and an intolerance for caffeine. So, there you go.
Thank you.
All right. Good answer, Joe. And good scenario, Vince. Next question is from Vic Levine. Vic Levine. How would you pronounce Levine if you saw it just on the screen?
Levine.
Okay, Vic Levine. I like that too. It flows a little better. Vic Levine. Hey, look.
I used to know a Levine. I used to know a Levine. Bro, can I tell you about the Levines in Farmingville who lived on the corner?
Please.
I'll tell you 2 stories about the Levines when I was a kid growing up. They lived on the corner. Mm-hmm. They had a little toy collie named Toy because he was a toy collie.
Okay.
They never took care of the dog. I used to walk the dog every day, and they used to pay me for it.
Uh-huh.
One night, Mr. Levine, Sheldon Levine, decided he was going to work on the carburetor of his car inside the garage.
Okay.
Set his entire house on fire, bro. Right on the corner of the street of Melvin Court.
Ah, the Levines.
And I digress. Go ahead.
Hilarious. Well, Vic Levine asks, what is your least favorite fast food restaurant?
Least favorite?
Interesting question, because you typically avoid the places you just flat out don't want to go, right? So
I like that question, bro.
Now you got to think of yourself like, okay, I've had a lot of fast food in my life. What's been the worst out of all that I've had?
You go first, bro.
The worst fast food that I've ever had was and this is a really specific answer. It's Australian McDonald's. I visited Australia when I was in high school. I went to McDonald's. They have a burger there. Like, instead of the Big Mac, they got Big Macs, got them all over the world. But they got a burger called the McAussie. The McAussie. The McAussie, in order to be authentic to Australian hamburgers, has a big fat beet right in the middle of the burger.
A beet, the purple garden beet?
Beetroot.
Oh.
Right in the middle of the burger. And I take a big bite.
The Dwight Schrute beet?
The red one, like the deep red beet.
Oh.
And I take a big bite, and I'm like, this thing tastes like a burger with something awful on top of it.
Oh, bro.
To me, a half-eaten beet when I look down at my burger is worse than a half-eaten worm when I look down at my apple.
So what did you do?
I put the burger down, opened it up, confirmed the beet, took the beet out, closed it, and finished the burger.
Oh, bro.
I paid for the burger. I didn't want to eat the beet.
That is ridiculous, bro.
So to me, the fact that Australians put beets on their burgers and take pride in that is the worst experience I've ever had at a fast food place.
Wow, I learned something here tonight, JoLo.
There you go.
I would have to say, JoLo, one of the foods I despise cold cuts.
Really?
I cannot eat a meat, any kind of meat, bro, that's not hot.
Okay.
I hate cold cuts. With that being said, I remember, when we were always on the road, Fast Eddie Ferrara was a big fan of Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
And I went into Jimmy John's with him, and it's very cold cut heavy.
That's all it is. You can't get a hot sandwich at Jimmy John's.
Nah,
it's good, but you can't get a hot sandwich.
That's the answer, hands down, bro. I hate cold cuts.
Jimmy John's. All right. I used to go to Jimmy John's constantly when I lived in Chicago. You got to find a place called Potbelly. Have you ever heard of this place?
Never heard of it.
If there's I should Google it right now. I'm not going to do it, though. You should look up Potbelly, see if there's one near you. Potbelly's got some of the best fast hot sandwiches I've ever had in recent memory from a new place.
Potbelly's.
Five Guys is easily my favorite fast food.
Bro, Five Guys is great. Very expensive, though.
But the quality, the experience, you wait a little while, you go to a Five Guys, and you'll get the juiciest, thickest, freshest burger you will ever get at a fast food restaurant without any duplicate. And that's
very, very expensive, bro.
It's always a double patty, and you can get the single patty, and it's cheaper. But fresher meat, fresher experience. It's, you know, if the one time you go somewhere to get the burger and you're gonna spend some money this one time, make it Five Guys. That's what I gotta say.
Bro,
free pitch.
I'm gonna give people a little hint here, including you, JoLo.
Okay, bring it on.
You said you're a coffee guy, right?
I do enjoy coffee. Chock full of nuts is my favorite.
Okay, I know, chock. That's New York chock full of nuts, bro.
It's the jingle that gets me, and so I had to buy it.
Chock full of nuts is a
Heavenly coffee. Yeah. Okay.
Here's a little tidbit from a coffee drinker.
Okay.
And this will shock the crap out of you. Bro, you know what fast food restaurant has the best and most inexpensive coffee? And it'll shock you. Shock you. I go there for coffee and you would never think of it.
McDonald's?
No, McDonald's has good coffee, better than McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Who?
Taco Bell. Great coffee at Taco Bell, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, bro. Yes. Yes. Bro, you know what it is?
It's over.
Bro, they brew every cup individually. I'm telling you, bro. Try that before the next show and you tell me.
Right. Tomorrow morning, I got some time. I'll go to Taco Bell for breakfast.
I'm telling you,
I'll
bro.
get Taco Bell coffee. Great coffee. I am excited for this. Oh, it's going to be great.
Great coffee, bro.
All right, Vic Levine. Thanks for the question, Vic. Next up, Joseph Ventura. Love that name, Joseph. Good name. What are your thoughts on social medias like Facebook and Twitter? Do you think it's social overkill? You think it's a flood of information? You think it's too much connectivity too fast?
Bro, I think it could be great if used for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, bro, listen, I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to be totally honest with you. We're starting on the Realm Network.
Yeah.
Social media is tremendous to let people know that. You know, let people know that on Twitter, let people know on Facebook, YouTube. You know we're doing that all the time. So for somebody like me that I'm not in the spotlight anymore, I'm not in the wrestling business anymore, but I'm doing these other things, how else would I let people know? So for that, it's tremendous. Bro, I love going on there and talking to people. I'm on Twitter all the time. I try to answer every single question I can. But you know what the other side of the coin is. You know, once it's abused and people are sitting behind their computer.
It's nice to live in an age where a certain kind of wall has been torn down between the people who make what you love and you. That kind of direct interactivity has never existed before in history. And
I agree with that.
And exactly as you say, though, the other side of that, though, is you now have a direct line to the people that make what you love or hate, and you can choose to use that direct line in any way you want. And that's not just people who make things. That could be your family, your friends, strangers. Being able to be on the internet and be anonymous allows you to literally speak your mind with zero consequences, 0 to none in most cases.
I got to tell you this, like, JoLo, like, I swear, and you'll appreciate this because it's two guys that I really, really admire. Bro, a lot of times, like, when I'm on Twitter and I start getting the stuff, you know, a lot of times, bro, I'll sit here and I'll say to myself, did they hate me, like, that much over wrestling? And, like, I'll start getting convinced, like, oh, my God, these people hate me. Bro, the other day, literally, Tom Green.
Yes.
He's got a talk show now on Access TV, which I love. Bro, I love Tom Green since the MTV days.
I like his interview style. Definitely, his more recent stuff I like better. We've talked about him though. Go on,
bro. Here's my favorite guy in the world. I saw him do stand up. I freaking love him. I'm a mark out for him, bro. The only celebrity that answered one of my tweets. Okay.
Okay.
Adam Carolla.
Great answer.
Now, but here's
Great
my
answer.
point, bro. So, bro, Tom Green is interviewing Adam Carolla.
That's got to be a great interview.
Yeah, and they're talking about all the hatred they get on freaking Twitter. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, think about this for a second, JoLo. How could anybody hate one of those guys? Like, what would be the reason behind hating an Adam Carolla?
You take personal offense to something he said, and you got to tell the world about it. I don't know. That's all. That's the only thing I can think. He said something that you don't like, and that's That's illegal and everything, but it's up to you to react to it how you want to.
And it was so interesting, bro, because they were talking about all the haters.
Yeah.
This came up in the conversation. And basically, Tom Green says that as soon as there's one thing, boom, block immediately. Corolla, on the other hand, says when there's a hater, he'll work that hater until he gets that hater to feel bad and say they're sorry and become fans of his. He like looks at that as a challenge.
Interesting
and
guy.
I really thought that was cool and interesting, but I'm saying, who the freak's got the time to do that, bro?
I think that Adam Carolla might be one of the few people with the talent to do that too.
Yes,
that takes a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge of how human beings think and act, and comedians especially have a special inside line to the human condition. And being that hate, public hate on Twitter and all that is an attempt to take someone down. There is nobody better at taking somebody down than a comedian, like a professional comedian.
Oh God, yeah.
And so for this, for those two philosophies, I think that it's interesting that they can definitely coexist. But I'm kind of more in Tom Green's camp. You know, social media has tools to be tailored how you want it to be tailored. And that means that if you have negativity in your feed, you can get rid of it. Now, there's millions of people that are reading your feed, so you're going to get a constant, steady stream of negativity, but you can still take care of it. And it just becomes a new part of existence. You know, it's a new day-to-day problem. So that I do also think, and this is my final thought on this, that there's a special bug in certain people that drives them to hate in an attempt merely to get any kind of reaction from anyone they can, to be recognized for their existence in some way. I think it's a pitiable thing that people will stoop to that level to entertain purely themselves.
I agree.
And so my reaction, and this is Patton Oswalt, one of my favorite stand-up comedians, one of the absolute best thinkers, writers, speakers I've ever heard in my life in terms of handling this kind of grief. His reaction is sort of like Adam Carolla's. His is to laugh. And if you laugh and you show that what's happening is not affecting you, the hater has nothing. Suddenly they look like an idiot, like you just pantsed them in front of everybody. Yeah. And it ends the situation immediately. To find light and humor in these types of personalities. So
I agree.
I think that the future is going to be a rocky place for a lot of people in terms of how much connectivity there is, but I'm not afraid of it. I think it's just something that we're all going to learn to live with as human beings, and it will fold it into our lives, and we'll just get used to it, you know, like everything else. So, great question. Again, great question. Making great time here too. I do have a secret word today.
Aren't you supposed to give it at the top of the show?
No. I'm not. I'm going to put a little graphic up at the top of the show. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to record a video before the show. I wanted to tell you to remind you, but I'm not going to tell you what it is or what question I'm going to try to get you to say it in. So I just remembered it, and we got a couple questions left. So just be prepared for me to start freaking out. All right. So Alan Chronic Waddell. I'm going to say Waddell.
I know that name. I know Alan. I see him frequently.
Exactly.
Alan. How you doing, Alan?
Alan says, even though that the glory days of radio are sadly well and truly behind us, if you worked in radio would you prefer being a talk show host and take calls, a sportscaster calling the plays, or a music DJ doing like a solitaire show?
Talk show host, no brainer.
Yeah, really?
Absolutely. Bro, my favorite part of, when we were doing Pyro and Ballyhoo and The Realm, bro, my favorite part is interviewing these guys.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part, bro. So hands down, that's what I would want to do.
It's a good answer. I like a one-on-one show. That's that's why I'm here doing the JoLo show. If I was doing a 9-to-5 DJ job though, I might say that I would like to be a music DJ, just because I would kind of like the breaks between talking, and I like the challenge of trying to line up the timing of what you say with before the singer says the first word of the song. Yeah. And there's a couple of, I listen to a lot of Sirius XM radio, and there's a couple DJs on some of the classic rock and classic vinyl stations on there that are really, really great. There's a guy named Earl Bailey, who is just the greatest radio DJ I have possibly ever heard in terms of spinning tracks in my entire life. And their talk guys are also pretty good too. I don't know if I could do the like 4-hour morning show talk radio. I don't know if I'd have enough stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Well, you got to surround yourself with a crew.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You got to have, people to support that kind of show. A little group of people.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I grew up listening to my dad listen to a guy named Frank Opinion and his morning show in St. Louis, and he had about 3 or 4 people in the studio all the time. People do call, and then you have like an hour of call-ins, so that's another block of time. But all right, a talk show host. What would your show? I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What would your show be called?
Oh God, bro.
Yeah. You want
Truth
with Vince Russo.
This is the word I'm supposed to guess right here.
No, it's not. No, all right. You thought you were clever with that one, but no, I like the name though. Strong.
I would name it Truth, just Truth.
Strong. Good.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Alan. Thanks for the question. We'll see you around next time. Kevin Skellhorn asks, were you a fan of horror films growing up, and were you a fan of the UK's Hammer Studios? Did you ever see any of Hammer Studios films?
I don't know what that is.
Hammer Studios, they made all the classic monster movies you can think of. Like The Mummy and Dracula, like those movies.
Wasn't that MGM?
Hammer Studios, I believe, was one of the companies that did a lot of the original stuff. I just looked them up. It's Hammer Film Productions. They did, let's see, Dracula, 1958. They did The Mummy, and what was the other big?
Wolfman?
That's not one of their movies. It's I'm trying to find it here. What's another big, what was the other big Hollywood monster?
Frankenstein?
Hey! You finally said it. See, I had to lead you down that path a little bit, but you finally said the secret word.
Now, I have to ask you, bro, why would you pick a word like Frankenstein?
It's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough to pick a secret word. I have never had to pick a secret word. I picked it because it was a specific enough thing that it would come up in a discussion about Hammer Studios when I started talking about classic Hollywood monster movies. So I was hoping you'd be like, oh, like Frankenstein. And the first thing you would say is Frankenstein. But
1 for 1, baby.
I was hoping it would be the first thing you said. But you went with Wolfman first for your first guess, which I was like, oh, he's so close. I just got to get him to say Frankenstein. I was thinking of doing something really, really crazy, like trying to get you to say something like Conan is bald, like something.
Could you imagine if you would have tried to get me to say Sheldon Levine?
Sheldon Levine,
bro. Let me tell you about horror movies, though. I'll tell you this too. A little known fact about Vince Russo.
Yes, sir.
I will not go in a movie theater and watch the horror genre.
Okay, why?
Will not.
Why? Is it because it's scary?
When I watch a horror movie, there needs to be some kind of covering,
a safety net
over my face, bro. I cannot go in a movie theater and watch that's a shoot. I can't do it.
I went on one of the worst first dates of my life to see Final Destination 3 in theaters. And Vince, at home, I can watch like super gory stuff and not be like scared by it. I know it's a movie and all that, and I know that super gory stuff can be kind of scary and all that. The theaters, I did not want to see it in a theater surrounded by a bunch of people. I wanted to be scared on my own terms. And this movie wasn't necessarily as scary as it did just build up everybody's anxiety, and it almost gave me a heart attack watching this movie. Yeah, I didn't. It was her idea to go. So that's why it was one of the worst first dates of my life. It wasn't my bad idea. So I do like horror movies. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of the classic horror movies. What I've seen is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Oh, classic, bro. I own that.
I've seen all the Abbott and Costello movies, which include some of those classic monsters. So
Wolfman, Dracula, yep,
and Boris Karloff is in that too. I think he plays Dracula in it. So I've seen some of that stuff. And
bro,
what's up?
Bro,
Bring it on. What happened?
Boris Karloff does not play Dracula.
No, he's Frankenstein. Bela Lugosi. Dude, hey, I corrected myself.
All right.
I knew the guy's name.
Bro, I just put you borderline genius.
That's why I'm the borderline genius.
And then you say Boris Karloff Dracula.
Hey, I've had to correct you once or twice too, buddy boy. You know that.
You're true. You're right, bro.
We're both borderline geniuses at that point.
Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi. I knew his name.
Who was Wolfman?
Yeah, I was trying to think of the guy who played multiple characters. Didn't Tor Johnson also play a lot of he played the goon in a lot of those movies? Tor Johnson.
The big three.
Okay.
Bela Lugosi, Dracula, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman.
Lon Chaney Jr. That's
big
something.
Three right there, baby.
That's something enough. Was Lon Chaney. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, my horror movies are usually much more recent, but I like horror movies that are usually a little funnier. Although the best recent horror movie I've seen in the last 10 years is this vampire movie called Let the Right One In. Have you heard of this movie? Mm-mm. It's I believe it's a Russian-made horror vampire film. The original version of it, they remade it in North America, but the original version is just a weirdly touching and disturbing and one of the best horror films I've ever seen. So if you are going to watch a horror movie at all in the near future, Vince, Let the Right One In, and make sure you try to see the original with this. Even though it's got subtitles, try to see the original. It's just better.
Last horror movie I saw in the theater was probably 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, that's kind of a horror movie. I call it a sci-fi movie.
Do you?
Cloverfield was more than 4 years ago too, but
Was 5 years ago? Yeah.
I would call that more of a sci-fi movie. Like Godzilla, I would call that a sci-fi movie.
Okay.
But I hear you. It's a high anxiety movie. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
So thank you for the question. Next up, it wouldn't be a JoLo show if we didn't have a question from Big Josh Hinkle, now would it?
Shout out to Big Josh. Big Josh in the house.
The perennial favorite. Big Josh.
Big Josh.
Love having questions from Big Josh. One of the original ham and eggers.
And on the 8th day, God created Big Josh.
And he saw how good it was. Easy. So, Big Josh asks us, if you were on an island and the only people on that island were Batman 66 villains and brand members, what kind of island would it be?
What now?
I don't
have to clarify this for me.
Okay, Vince. So the boat that we're on sinks, and on the boat is you, Penguin, Catwoman, Egghead, the Bookworm, Joker,
Lock King,
definitely.
The Archer, Arcani.
Yep. Oh yeah, good one.
Bookworm.
I said Bookworm earlier. Mad Hatter,
Mr. Freeze.
I didn't really like Mr. Freeze in the 66, but yeah, him. So they're all there. And then, also with them and you, are a ton of the brand members. And you're all just marooned on this island. And it's what kind of island would it be?
Big Josh, Anthony Mazzoro.
I'm there. Jeff's there.
Brian DiBiase's there.
We're all there. And let's say that we have unlimited resources somehow, and we can make this island any type of island, like a resort island, a casino, maybe we can make a skyscraper. Like, what would you do, I guess, is what Big Josh is asking. Would you make a giant resort and we all just hang out?
You answer that first. I need a minute to think about this.
Well, we've got all the Batman 66 villains, right? So we're not going to be able to stay on one island. We're going to have to take over every island in the near vicinity. That's got to be step one. So then everybody gets an island, right? Big Josh gets an island. You get your own island. We'll call it Vince's Island. That'll, nice and simple. I'll get an island. We'll call it JoLo Land. And there's actually a place in the world called JoLo, by the way. And once we do that, and we have all the villains, that way the villains can go off and and have an island where they do all of their horrible crime-related experiments. We can visit, have a great time, but we need to separate ourselves a little bit. After that, Josh, it's Tiki Bar 24/7. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. We'll have tropical drinks. The sun will be shining. We won't have to watch Raw. It'll be a fantastic time for everybody. That's what I think.
I'm seeing, I don't know if I'd call it a resort.
Okay,
but
okay.
we've got a lot of talent here now.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Okay. I would like to see us build the world's biggest comedy club.
Ah.
Look at who we have, bro. You got Joker.
Well, that's true.
You got Riddler. I think King Tut would kill.
King Tut would be, oh my goodness. He would have his own theater. It would be a pyramid.
Penguin would kill.
Penguin, oh, easily, easily. Now, the first two guys would probably literally kill. That's the problem.
Yes.
So you got to be careful. But Penguin, absolutely. Hands down. He'd be one of the best draws. King Tut, absolutely.
Absolutely. Egghead, forget about it, bro.
Easy, easy money. Catwoman, most likely to steal your wallet. But still, great draw.
Mr. Freeze, boot out of the building.
Easy. Oh, no.
No sense of humor.
He's not staying for long. He's not a fun guy. We'll have him run the air conditioning system. That way he can sit in the basement, make sure it's cool, everybody's happy. He's still there, away from society, and then we're doing our part.
Frankenstein.
No. Frankenstein. I'll give you a second fanfare for that one, but it'll be smaller.
Yeah.
So
good question, though, Big Josh.
Yeah, Josh just sending us down a nice.
He made us think about it a little bit.
He sent us down a little creative road. I kind of like that, Josh. Thanks, thanks a lot, and thanks for listening and that constant support, man. Always appreciated. We're on the martini question, Vince. You know the martini shot?
Yeah.
We're on the martini question. Last question of the night. Before you asked JoLo a question. Now, you already proposed a scenario to me earlier. You put a scenario in front of me. Think of a more JoLo show style question for me after this next one. Ready?
Okay.
So this question is from Corey N. Woolsey, which is, I believe, Corey, this is maybe your first time asking a question. If so, welcome and congratulations. You don't win anything for being the last question we ask, but we set you aside and distinguish you nonetheless. So good to meet you, Corey. Corey asks, what did you enjoy about your college town of Evansville, Indiana?
Great people.
Yeah, good people.
Nicest people in the world, bro. I was vice president of my fraternity. Well, so I had a slew of great fraternity brothers. Never had that experience on Long Island before.
Yeah.
Met my wife in Evansville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so great people.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't do the college thing in a smaller town, I should say. I was in Chicago, Illinois, for my college days, but small town life can be. How big is Evansville? I keep saying small town. I don't want to distinguish it as small at all. Is it a small town? Would you call it that?
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to seem like I'm digging on Evansville for no reason. I bet it's a lovely place. I bet it's a lovely place.
Yeah. I
really want to move to Salem, Massachusetts, because it's got a bit of that small town touch to it. Even though it's close to Boston, it's only about a 20-30-minute drive away from Boston. I like the low buildings, and I like the hills and the sea being right there. And after living in the big city for so long and living in suburbia my whole life growing up, that kind of community tightness and that being able to walk somewhere to get something, I can't tell you how much I miss that from Chicago. I used to be able to walk to go get food, many different kinds of food. Now I can't do that, and it drives me out the wall. So I can relate to that small town feel a bit. So thank you, Corey, for bringing this back.
Wasn't Stephen King somehow tied into Salem?
Oh, I don't know that. I don't know at all. This is a good Brand question, though. Brand, if you guys know if Stephen King was somehow tied to Salem, I'm not going to Google it at the moment.
I know he wrote Salem's Lot, but I'm thinking he was okay. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, we have some friends who live up in Peabody, which is right next to Salem, and so we get up there a lot. We used to get up there a lot more often. We gotta go visit them very soon. But it's a great town, and if you're ever up in Boston, we'll go visit there someday. So now, Vince, you got one for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question, JoLo, because I know you're a sci-fi guy, which I'm not.
Super sci-fi guy.
Okay, but it's a little. It's falls under the umbrella of sci-fi, but it's not really sci-fi.
I can work with this.
But I want to see how you feel about this.
Okay.
William Shatner.
Love him.
Catching a lot of heat, bro, for not going to Leonard Nimoy's funeral. Now, Shatner said that he had a prior commitment, and that prior commitment was a big charity commitment.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a money-making opportunity for Shatner. It was they were using Shatner to raise money.
It was an appearance fee.
It wasn't for a charity.
Yeah.
So because of the charity, he did not go to the funeral of Leonard Nimoy, and a lot of people have big issues with that. Where do you stand on that?
Now, Shatner later that day did make it to the city where the funeral was and attended a memorial service that was held in the evening for Leonard Nimoy. He missed the funeral itself. I give him tremendous credit for getting there same day to attend the memorial service. I give him professional credit for keeping up with his professional commitments in the face of the situation, as bad as it was, and as friendly as they were with each other. It was a tough situation, but he did they were relying on him. They can't change the day of the fundraiser. And if he's a major draw for their fundraiser, they could lose the ability to have a second one just from the fact that this one doesn't do well if they don't have their guests there. He weighed every single option. He must have.
Why?
And that looks good to me.
Why? You're a Star Trek guy, right?
I am.
What was the heat with Shatner and a lot of people from that cast?
I can tell you exactly what the heat was because I've read George Takei's autobiography. So the heat stems from two places. One, on set in like 66, 67, Shatner was a screen hog. He would want the camera to be on him for other people's lines. So there would be situations where people would end up delivering a line from off camera because Shatner would just feel that the camera would look better if it was on him for that shot. Or there'd be moments where he would have a private meeting and then they would come out with the script being a little bit altered so that he would deliver a line as opposed to Sulu or as opposed to Chekhov. So there was heat because he had a slightly elevated opinion of himself, according to many sources, on the set of Star Trek. After that, they did not have a good relationship as a cast from that point, but they came back to do the movies almost 10 years after the show ended. I think it was over 10 years after the show ended. And the first thing that happened was Gene Roddenberry died. That was one of the first big losses of that production crew. And he didn't attend Gene Roddenberry's funeral. That put, I believe, an unerasable scar on his relationship with the original cast of the original series and a lot of fans of the Star Trek series in general. Not attending that funeral. He also did not attend the funeral of James Doohan, who played Scotty. That's two. I don't know if he attended the funerals of DeForest Kelley, who played Bones. So while I can't confirm any of those, I can't confirm that one. I know he didn't go to James Doohan's. I know he didn't go to Gene Roddenberry's. And those two things.
Bro, some people, though, bro, I fall in this category. Bro, some people have a problem with funerals.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And if that's where this is going, the only person who could confirm that to anybody is Bill Shatner. So to come down on the guy for missing a couple of funerals, he was never publicly buddy-buddy with anybody but Leonard Nimoy, really, after the original series ended. They were public great friends. So to miss the funeral, but to still make it on the day of, he's a human being. He's got to do what he's got to do. You got to respect that he tried his best and he made it there. All the other stuff he did before that, sure. It's people say that he did it. It sounded like he had a bit of a personality issue to work through. Absolutely, don't we all? But now, the Bill Shatner of today, I don't see anything wrong with what he did. Not a single thing. I don't have any animosity for the guy at all.
All right, good answer.
So that's it's a little history into Star Trek and a little bit of his relationship there. But great question, though, man. Thanks. Yeah, hit me with any sci-fi questions you've got, dude. That's what I'm all about, man.
You got it.
Yeah, I'm king nerd as far as this goes. So any sci-fi questions you've got or stuff like that, science questions, stuff like that, I'm all about it. But one thing I am also about is sleep. And it is now that time. It's my Cinderella hour. I'm gonna
11 o'clock.
Gonna turn into a pumpkin. And I've got to get my I would say I've got to get my rest before WrestleMania, but something tells me I might get some rest during WrestleMania, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
So you have a safe trip to San Jose.
Yeah, I will. A lot to talk about when I get back. A lot to talk about. One thing I want to say too, JoLo, and I think it's a good thing. On the Realm Network, if I had to guess when an official launch is going to be, I'd say mid-April.
Okay.
If I had to guess. The good thing about it, though, bro, is they're giving me my own fantasy baseball show.
I heard.
And the nice thing about that is baseball, the season starts February 6th. I'm sorry, April. Thank you. April. Bro, all day I've been getting February and April confused. I don't know why.
I don't know, man.
The season starts April 6th. So I told Rem, we got to kick off this fantasy baseball show April 1st, which is next Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a week away. Less than a week away.
Yeah, so next Wednesday is going to be my first show. And bro, the name of the show is Who's On First? Paying tribute to the great Abbott and Costello.
We were just talking about Abbott and Costello earlier.
Vince Russo's Fantasy Baseball on the Realm Network starting April 1st. And the good thing about it, though, JoLo, is it gives me the opportunity to work in the Realm system before we kick off the brand.
It's a great prototype. Great place to start.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So, I'm going to have a couple of weeks of doing that before we blow everything out of the water. But again, I'd love, listen, I know wrestling fans and my fans and a lot of the fans of the brand are not necessarily baseball fans, but I will tell you this, my very first guest on the premiere show, April 1st, Irish Pat Kenny, that wrestling fans may know as Simon Diamond.
I don't know him.
ECW, Simon Diamond?
I didn't watch ECW, remember?
Bro, ECW fans know Simon Diamond. He'll be the very first guest on Who's On First, April 1st, Wednesday.
All right. Well, you heard it here on the JoLo Show, folks. It's Saturday when you're listening to the JoLo Show. April 1st is a very short time away. Be sure to pay attention, listen, watch if you like fantasy baseball at all. I'm sure whatever you've got to say, Vince, has got to be pretty interesting. I'm even going to follow along, at least for the entertainment
and also,
factor
bro,
of it.
April 1st, big Fleetwood Mac concert.
Oh.
So I'm going to be talking about that probably on Chicken next Friday.
Very good. I was just listening to a live recording of Tusk, actually, in the car on my way home.
There you go.
That's probably my favorite Fleetwood Mac song. It's up there. Really high up there. Anyways, that's been the JoLo Show for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate your support as usual. Thanks for the questions and posting them on Facebook for us. We're going to do another episode for you as usual. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're here on in our middle ground as we're getting ready to launch the brand experience on the Realm Network. Thanks for following along. Pardon our dust as usual. And Vince, you have a great night, man.
Frankenstein.
Good night. Good night, Frankenstein.